Hey, what's going on? Coach Joe here, the CEO and head coach of Athletics, and I'm really excited for this presentation, sharing with you the best workouts that you should be doing for your body type when it comes to losing fat and also building muscle. Who knows? Maybe you tried P90X, you tried Beachbody, you tried going to the gym, you tried doing some stuff at home, and maybe, just like how this guy is, you probably tried all these other different diets and programs, but you never see the results that you were looking for. And now you feel like pulling your hair right out of your head because maybe it's very confusing. Maybe it's frustrating. Who knows? Maybe even discouraging because you go online and you see all this information out there and you just get so confused because you don't know what to be doing for your body type and how to successfully reach your goals. Well, no worries. In this presentation, I got your back. We're going to cover everything for you. The same information that I'm going to teach you in this presentation is exactly how Chris was able to lose over 25 pounds and get six-pack abs in just 90 days. How Greg was able to lose 30 pounds in 90 days and get off his blood pressure medications, but also transforming his dad bod to becoming a fit grandfather. And how Santo was able to lose 50 pounds in 90 days without going to the gym and spending 2 hours there every single day, lifting weights and doing all this cardio. No, we taught Santo how to lose 50 pounds in 90 days without dieting, without cardio, and without spending 2 hours in the gym every single day. Now, Santo works out right at home where it's convenient for him and his lifestyle. But it's not just those guys, it's literally hundreds of guys learning how to get in the best shape of their lives so they can fit into their old favorite clothes again, feel proud of the man in the mirror, and most importantly, learn what works best for their body types. Now, here's the best part. When you're able to learn what works best for your body type, how to train properly, how to eat properly, how to learn how to create sustainable fat loss habits, you're also able to improve your health dramatically. And that's how hundreds of these guys were actually able to get off their medications for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and even lowering their A1C levels and reversing their type 2 diabetes. And once again, just in case you don't know who I am, my name is Coach Joe. I'm the CEO and head coach of Athletics. I'm certified in personal training, nutrition, and strength and conditioning. And since 2017, I've been helping thousands of guys learn what works best for their body types so that way they can easily lose the fat and keep it off once and for all by learning and creating sustainable fat loss habits, but also helping hundreds of guys getting off their medications and improving their overall health. Now, if you ever go to Google and type in different body types, you're going to be presented with an image that looks just like this, with an ectomorph, a mesomorph, and an endomorph. And honestly, if anybody's going to give you specific workouts, if your body type is, let's say, an ectomorph or a mesomorph or an endomorph, they don't know what they're talking about. There is no such thing as workouts based upon your body type, but there is a difference when it comes to learning what works best for your body. And that's what I'm going to teach you in this presentation. So after helping thousands of guys learn how to lose fat, build muscle for their body types, and maintain those results long term, here's exactly what you need to know. Your body type right now, not off of these images, but based on any kind of past and current injuries. So for example, right, if let's say you have a bad back, bad knees, bad elbows, bad shoulders, right? They injured in the past or they're currently injured right now. These are things that you got to take note of. But also, going off of a preference, what do you like to do? Personally, for me, I'm not the biggest fan of full body workouts, Other people, they enjoy full body workouts. So you have to go off of what do you enjoy doing? And then you have to go off your schedule, right? This is so important when it comes to learning what works best for your lifestyle. And you're going to understand exactly why. If let's just say you're going to go to the gym every single day for 2 hours, because it's the new year, new you resolution, right? And you want to get in the best shape of your life. But if that's not sustainable, if let's say that's cutting time away from you being at work or cutting time away from, let's say, your family, once again, how long is that going to last? Anybody can do anything when life is easy, but when life starts throwing you curveballs, adversity, and stress, it's very easy to fall back to your old ways. This is why, once again, when you are following a workout program that is suitable for your body type and your schedule, this is what it truly means. You're doing workouts that are comfortable for you to do, right? We're going to talk about how to push yourself, how to progress, that way you never hit a plateau. But once again, if let's say you have a bad back, I wouldn't recommend deadlifting or squatting. If you have bad knees, right, there's certain exercises I wouldn't recommend. If you have a bad shoulder, right, I wouldn't recommend doing certain exercises. Okay? That's what I truly mean about your body type. But also, once again, for me personally, I'm not a fan of full body workouts. So if let's say you're not a fan of full body workouts, but somebody was going to give you full body workouts to do and say, hey, if you do these workouts, you're going to get in amazing shape, that's great. That might last a few weeks, that might last a few months, but eventually you're going to get sick of those workouts because you just don't enjoy doing them. So they're not going to be sustainable for you. You're not going to be able to stick with it long term. You're not going to be able to be consistent with it. And consistency is key, my friends. That's how you're going to be successful on your fat loss journey, is following through with a program, following through with a routine that you can be consistent with that works best for your lifestyle. And once again, your busy schedule. If let's say you can only commit to, 3 30-minute workouts a week, then great, just do that. Whether you go to the gym or whether you work out at home, it honestly doesn't matter. This is the truth, and what you really need to take note of this, all right? The workouts, they're just the icing on the cake. They're just the sprinkles. Now, don't get me wrong, it's great to work out and it's great to exercise, and it's a great tool to help you boost your metabolism. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But remember, 80 to 90% of the results that you're ever going to get on your fat loss journey is all about the nutrition. Figuring out the best macros for your body type and sticking within that and your calorie deficit. I'll talk about that here in a little bit next. But just remember, right, when it comes to working out properly for your body type and your schedule and your lifestyle, it boils down to this, right? Workouts that you can consistently do, that you enjoy doing, where you're seeing progress with. And also, it's flexible for your schedule. So that way, you're going to have a much easier time staying consistent. Take a look at this chart right here. This is very important for you to understand. This is called the TDEE chart, right? Which stands for Total Daily Energy Expenditure. Now you're going to see in here your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, also known as your REE, your resting metabolic rate. Then we have NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, TEF, which is the thermic effect of food, and then EAT, exercise activity thermogenesis, okay? Now, these three up here, the NEAT, the TEF, and the exercise activity thermogenesis, okay? This is all what's known as your non-resting metabolic rate, which means that you're not at rest. You're moving around, you're fidgeting, you're doing certain things which requires you to be burning calories, right? Burning energy. This over here means you're just sitting there, right? Pretty much like you wake up, but you never actually leave your bed. Your body's still burning through energy, right? And this is why it's so important to make sure that you're consuming the right foods, right? And working out properly, which we're going to talk about next. So that way you can boost your metabolism and put on more muscle. Because the more muscle that you have, you're going to be increasing your BMR, which means pretty much like, hey, it's going to be a lot easier for you to lose body fat and maintain that overall because you have more muscle than fat. Muscle obviously weighs more than fat within the body. So let's talk about these three up here, right? NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is just you moving around. This is you fidgeting, right? If I'm moving my hands, I'm burning calories. If I'm doing the dishes, I'm burning calories. If I'm going for a walk, I'm burning calories, right? I'm not quote unquote working out. I'm just doing things, right? I'm moving around. I'm burning calories that way. And that is a big factor when it comes to actually burning, right? Energy, right? Way more than TEF and way more than EAT, right? Which is exercise activity thermogenesis. Now TEF, right? This is the thermic effect of food. This just simply means that, hey, the more protein that you're consuming, because it's higher up on the thermic effect of food, that has a big factor when it comes to you burning more calories, right? Because protein is higher up than, let's say, carbohydrates and fats when it comes to the thermic effect of food scale. So this is why it's so important for you to understand the best macros for your body type. That way you can be in a calorie deficit, eating plenty of protein, and guess what? You're going to be making your body work harder for you to burn some extra energy, burn some extra calories just by you eating properly, okay? And depending on your macros, you can be really transforming, right, the body fat into that lean muscle tissue that's going to help you increase your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. Now, you can see in here, EAT, right? Exercise activity thermogenesis. This burns the least amount of calories, right? This is you lifting weights. This is you working out, right? Why does it burn the least amount of calories? Well, you're not actually burning a lot of calories when it comes to working out, especially if you're doing strength training. But with that being said, you should still be focusing on the strength training because that's going to help you transfer that body fat into that lean muscle if you're eating properly, obviously, which is going to be increasing your BMR. Okay, so even though at, let's just say, a cardio session or a workout session for an hour, yes, you're burning the least amount of calories compared to everything else. But if you're focusing on the strength training, guess what? That overall is going to be helping you increase your BMR. And this is why, once again, strength training is so important when it comes to boosting your metabolism and increasing your BMR. And I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how to do that in the next few slides. Very few things. Don't overcomplicate this, right? We like to use the analogy KISS. Keep it simple, stupid, okay? Few things that you need to understand. Right? For starters, it does not matter if you work out at home with or without equipment, and it does not matter if you go to the gym. Okay, so keep that in mind. Don't think you need to go to the gym, right, in order to improve your BMR and focus on strength training. Like, no, it helps because obviously there's all this equipment, but once again, you can do this right at home with or without equipment. Here's the two things that you really need to understand. One, progressive overload. Second, muscle confusion. So with progressive overload, you can look at this chart right here. There's so many different ways to focus on progressing, right? Albert Einstein said it best. The definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. So if you're doing the same workouts, the same reps, the same intervals, the same rest periods, you're not progressing, right? Which means you're going to hit a stall. You're going to continue to do the same things, which is going to get you the same results. You got to progress. Now, muscle confusion, this is switching things up to help you get a better mind-muscle connection. So if you're constantly doing the same workouts week after week after week after week, once again, you're going to get in this routine. You're going to be in your comfort zone, I like to say, and you got to switch things up. This is why for our coaching clients, we're constantly changing up their workouts so that way we can have a greater chance of muscle confusion, getting them to adapt with this new mind-muscle connection, which also aids in them seeing way better progress. Now, this is very important to understand, the RPE scale, right, which stands for rate of perceived exertion. Pretty much how much you're pushing, right? If you're going through the workouts and just going through the motions, right, it's not really pushing you, it's not really hard to do, you're never going to get the results you're looking for. So I would say based on this chart, if you're anything below a 6, you have to learn how to really step it up. And maybe that means you just need the right people in your corner, the right coach in your corner that's helping you, right? Progress more, helping you push, see your blind spots that maybe you're not seeing, Now, as far as the top end, right, the max effort, keep this in mind. You do not need to push yourself like that every single day where you're going for these heavy PRs, these run rep max. If you're doing that for every single workout, you're going to be increasing your chances of also injuring yourself. So a really good sweet spot is staying, in my opinion, between, let's just say, a 7 and a 9. Now hear me out. In case you're wondering about cardio is just a tool to stay within a calorie deficit, okay? Cardio is great. Cardio burns calories, but strength training is way more important. And here's the reason why. Cardio does not help you build muscle. Lifting weights, working at home, progressive overload, muscle confusion, that's what helps you build the muscle. Cardio is great for your heart. Once again, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But cardio is, once again, just a tool to help you stay within a calorie deficit. That's all. And don't overcomplicate this, right? When it comes down to cardio, it's all a preference. There's LISS, right, which stands for lower intensity steady state cardio. There's MISS, moderate intensity steady state cardio, and HIIT, high intensity interval. So at the end of the day, you're going to be burning way more calories doing HIIT training, but if, let's just say, you have bad knees, a bad back, right, it's hard to do, right? It's more advanced movements half the time, okay? Let's just say running, once again, and jogging, like, you might like that, you might not like that, okay? For myself and a lot of our coaching members, we like walking. Why? It's easy to do. You can do it now in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, your 80s. You can see what I'm saying with this, right? Like, I don't know many people in their 70s doing HIIT workouts, let alone in their 80s. I know a lot of people, though, still walking the older they get. So we like to focus on, once again, sustainability. What works best for your body type? What is the things that you can do today that you can constantly progress with, right? And that's going to help you just fuel your body properly for your future, And side note, when it comes to these different cardios, this is something that maybe not a lot of guys are going to teach you, but I definitely will. because I want to make sure that you get nothing but the best results. When you get your heart rate to a certain high amount, you're going to be using more glycogen rather than using fat for storage for energy, okay? So once again, what does that mean? Hey, if you're running, you're swimming, right? You're doing the stair climber, you're doing the elliptical, you're doing these HIIT workouts, you're going to be using glycogen, right? These are what's stored within the muscles. You're going to be using that to fuel that exercise because of the intensity of it, because of your heart rate. But if you keep your heart rate nice and low, you're going to be using primarily body fat as that fuel. This is why, once again, I'm a big fan of walking, right? I'm a big fan of just moving my body, trying to get at least 10,000 steps every single day. The working out aspect of all of this is literally just the icing, the sprinkles on the cake, the batter, right? 80 to 90% of the results that you're ever going to get on your fat loss journey is the nutrition part. So this is why it's so important for you to making sure that, hey, you're understanding the best macros for your body type, being in a calorie deficit so that way you're losing fat. You're not under eating because, hey, if you're doing that, you don't want to risk losing your muscle. That's going to slow down your metabolism. But even when it comes down to the training, okay, hey, you should still be tracking your progress. You should still be making sure that you're focusing on progressive overload. Whether you're manually doing that or whether you're using an app, you got to make sure that you're tracking your data. This is just the easiest way possible to just guarantee the results that you're trying your hardest to get, especially if you're somebody that's been struggling for years when it comes to losing weight and keeping off and getting the best shape possible. I bet you anything, if you just tracked your macros, tracked your workouts, and you had a plan to follow that was tailored for your body type and your lifestyle, you can easily get the results that you're looking for. That's what helped Brian lose over 85 pounds in just 6 months. That's also what helped Mark lose over 90 pounds in 6 months. And following a tailored plan is what helped John lose over 150 pounds in just 6 months. And when it comes to our coaching program, everything is all inclusive using our app, meaning that the workouts, the nutrition, the community group, the 24/7 support, even the database with thousands of different easy to follow recipes, hundreds of different sit down restaurants, it's all right there for you, taking out all the guesswork. I mean, if you think about it, how would your life change if, let's just say, you didn't have to worry about eating, right? Because somebody was taking out all the guesswork, meaning they're giving you the proper tools on how to easily fit in. Let's just say if you and your family are having a certain meal for dinner or you guys are going out to eat, all the guesswork was taken out, giving you a simplified plan to follow to help you easily hit your macros. I bet you that would help you out. If, let's just say, you go to the gym or maybe you work out right at home with or without equipment, what if the guesswork was taken out for you, right? What if you just had a coach in your corner there for you 24/7 that was providing for you the best workouts for your body type to ensure that you're progressing week after week and constantly making adjustments? That way you don't have to worry about doing that anymore. And then also, what if you were just with thousands of different individuals, right, helping you along this journey? That way you're not doing this alone anymore. And that's what our community group provides. If you think about it, if let's just say you were playing a basketball game. Let's say you're the greatest basketball player in the world, Michael Jordan, for example, right? And you were playing against the Detroit Pistons, and it was just MJ, one person. There was no Scottie Pippen, no Dennis Rodman, just him against 5 Detroit Pistons. Guess what? I don't care how great you are. 1 against 5, you're never going to win that game. If let's say you're going out to war all by yourself, right, against this big, huge army that had, snipers and tanks and helicopters and this huge military, and it was just you with a small little pistol. I don't care if you're Rambo, you're not going to survive, right? So when it comes to you on your health and fitness journey, what if the things that's actually stopping you from progressing and getting the results is just you doing it all by yourself? What if you actually had other people in your corner helping you? I'm sure you heard this phrase before. You can give a man a fish and feed him for a day, or you can teach a man how to fish and feed him for the rest of his life. That's kind of like how our coaching program is. If you think about it, right, back in the day, you didn't know how to drive a car. So you had to go through driver's ed school. You had to have a driving instructor sitting in your passenger seat teaching you, right, how to drive that car. But as soon as you got the license, guess what? You don't need that driving instructor anymore because you have the skills. You have the knowledge, right? You know what to do. So what if somebody was actually teaching you the same skills, the same knowledge that works best for your body type and your lifestyle when it comes to losing fat and building muscle? Do you think that's going to help you? I think it definitely will. This is why, once again, we're a big believer in teaching our coaching members what works best so that way they can learn how to create sustainable fat loss habits. And if you want to learn a little bit more on how you can get in the best shape of your life, maybe you want to have more energy. Maybe you want to have more sex drive. Maybe you want to have more confidence. Maybe you just want to look and feel your best again, or fit into those old favorite clothes, or feel proud of the person that you see staring back in the mirror. Then all you have to do is right after this video, just fill out the short application form, right? It's just a short form to fill out, just asking you some basic questions so I can learn a little bit more about your health and fitness goals, and I can learn a little bit more about just your struggles as well, just to see if I can help you out or not. So make sure that right when you get done watching this video, you click on the link down below and just fill out the short application form.